Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, sit tight and I hope that you gain value for your time here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for stopping by again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 common mistakes that we make in relationships that end up ruining our relationships. Disclaimer, I am no relationship expert. I'm basically saying these 10 mistakes based off of experience and experiences of others that I have seen and witnessed. So I hope that you pick one or two lessons, or three or four or 10, who knows. But let's dive right in. So the first common mistake will be taking your partner for granted. Now, oftentimes it is very easy to dismiss the people that are closest to us and that we care more about because we feel they're always going to be there. But then while it is normal to expect that the people in our lives are going to stick with us during our bad times, I think it is also selfish to expect that they sync with us. So, and in the long run, selfishness results to resentment, and then it ends up ruining your relationship. It is important to always remind the people in your life how important they are, the gestures, all of the things that you did from the beginning of the relationship. You continue to do these things to remind these people that you love them. So even if you're not as consistent as you were from the beginning of the relationship, because I understand we want to impress, so we go above and beyond to do certain things just to get the people that we want, but when we get them, it's hard to keep up. But it is important to be intentional in always making sure that your partner feels loved, that they know that you're there and you've got them and they're still important to you, to avoid ruining your relationship. So our common mistake number 2 will be overstepping boundaries. So while in most times we overstep these boundaries unintentionally, it is most oftentimes destructive. And that is why I encourage that when a partner my vitamins. That is why I encourage that when a partner is overstepping your boundaries, you communicate. It is very important because overstepping boundaries creates distance. It makes your partner feel disrespected. You begin to feel like this person doesn't even respect you. This person doesn't even acknowledge the fact that doing this thing or engaging in this act makes you feel this certain way, or that you would rather not have to deal with certain things that your partner does, and they continue to do it. So it is important to communicate clearly what your boundaries are in relationships. It is important to try not to overstep boundaries, and it is important that when your partner is overstepping your boundaries, because most times I reckon it is unintentional, you communicate it so that they adjust. Now, a common mistake number 3 will be assumption. I'm sorry, my voice sounds weird, first off, just in case you notice, because I have flu. And I'm laughing about this assumption because I think I'm low-key guilty, because sometimes, honestly, I feel we think that it's easy to just assume rather than actually confront the situation, but it never helps. It ruins relationships. It is very okay. I advise you just, talk about issues. If you feel a certain way, it's easier, it's better, not easier, it is way better and more mature to communicate your assumptions. I feel this way, I think that I say these things like this, and get your clarification instead of holding on to whatever thoughts you have that are most probably not even true, and then you make decisions based off of these assumptions are not true, and before you know it, you're creating problems where there isn't any, and then it creates distance, creates rift in relationship, and breaks the relationship. So I reckon communication, mature, honest, clear, concise communication about your feelings, instead of assuming. You're assuming your partner is doing this, you're assuming your partner is doing this, before you know, you start to want to go through their phone, or they tell you certain things and you don't even believe because you feel this way about this thing that you're not communicating, but then you created this whole scenario in your head and you're already acting on it, and it, you know, breaks trust and then ruins your relationship. Our common mistake number 4 would be avoiding conflicts. Now, I know that most times you feel, I'd rather not because I don't want problems. I'd rather not because, you know, what's the essence? Maybe if I talk about this thing, it will ruin my relationship. Which, in fact, I'd say if you're afraid of, you know, addressing an issue or going into conflict with your partner over an issue because it may break the relationship, then you have no business being in a relationship where just fighting or having disagreement is going to break in the first place. I don't know, my thoughts. So it is very important. Sometimes, even though we feel we're peaceful people, we don't want issues, it's good to fighting. Actually, sometimes is healthy for relationship because you need to take all of these things out. You need to express your feeling over certain things. You need to get angry. You need to get mad over certain things, and, you know, talk about these things and trash issues out and move forward, move past these things. You know, fight over it, do whatever you want to do, but ensure that you're unbaggaging, if that makes sense. You're taking everything out and moving forward. So avoiding conflict, in my opinion, is another is part of the mistakes that we make in relationships that ruin our relationships. So you think you're avoiding conflict because you don't want to have any problems. In the long run, it's piling up. It's a time bomb, ticking time bomb, and it's going to explode in your faces one day. So our common mistake number 5 will be placing your happiness in the hands of your partner, or even anybody in this case. You have to learn to find happiness in yourself. You need to learn to find happiness in the things around. You need to learn to live with yourself first, because as the popular saying goes, you can't give what you don't have. So if you always depend on someone for your happiness, your partner is not there, then your life is on a standstill. If this particular person is not there, then nothing makes sense in your life. You're not able to do anything. You don't have hobbies, you don't have your own personal preferences, you don't have your go-to places, your safe spaces, you don't have any of these things. It's just all on your partner. What that does is, with time, it begins to get exhausting for the person, because I mean, let's be honest, you're having someone constantly take from you and take from you and take from you, and it gets exhausting for the person. And before you know it, they start, you know, drawing back, or it starts creating, like, it starts doing, like, you know, creating just issues from nowhere, like, right? Or whenever these people do certain things that don't necessarily mean anything, but because you're so attached to your happiness, or like so many things are so attached to them as a person, you begin to create meanings out of, you know, certain things that are not even worth it, or they do certain things and you start like feeling like, okay, start questioning your worth. Is there something wrong with me? Oh, this person doesn't want me anymore, or I'm worthless, or do I need to do this in a certain way so that this person likes me? I have to change this about myself. You lose yourself because your happiness and everything depends on this person. Like, have other things, your job, business, anything, but make sure that whatever you do, by all means, avoid placing your whole happiness and your whole entirety, like your existence, around one person. Let your world not revolve around one person or their world. No, you you get the point. So common mistake number 5, number 5 would be, sorry, I'm looking down because I wrote the point, so I'm trying not to forget anything. So the next one will be keeping scores. Now, I know it's not peculiar to women. I mean, have you met petty men? So, because I know most times when I talk about keeping scores, they say it's a women thing, but like, have you met petty men? avoid keeping scores in your relationship. Please, whenever you have an issue with your partner, or your partner offends you or does anything wrong to you, as far as you're talking about this issue and you're saying, okay, this is what you did to me, I don't like it, and partner is apologizing, I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was going to hurt you, I didn't know that my actions were going to hurt you in this way, and I apologize, and moving forward, and I'm going to adjust, I'm going to make sure that I don't do this anymore, and you're clearing the table, clearing everything, right? Let it go there and there, drop it there and move on. Let not next week or in 2 months time the person does something entirely even different from that, and then you say, that's how last month you did this, last week, last year, or so and such date you did this and I forgave you. Like, it's not a competition. You're not competing for, or like you say, because you did this, then me self, that's why I did this. You're allowed to do this, but I'm not allowed to do this. Like, you're keeping scores, but it just makes the whole relationship turn to like a situation of, we're competing. Who does this? Who is able to do this the most? Like, whenever you have issues and you're addressing these issues, ensure to let them go and not keep scores, because it is toxic for your relationship. It's not a healthy behavior or attitude to have in a relationship, and it will ruin your relationship. Our next point is dishonesty. Dishonesty. Even the most littlest thing, the thing that in your head you think is insignificant, or like, I'm not going to tell him this, or I'm just not going to be truthful about this. Who is it going to hurt? You have no idea. Like, you can't make decisions for people. You have to always be honest about everything and allow people make decisions for themselves. You can't hold certain information. You can't say, I'm not going to say this, or this is irrelevant, or this is personal to me. This is someone you're creating a relationship with, and if you're like me that dates to we date to, like, I don't just date. Like, if I'm with you, then I kind of like see a prospective future with you. Then it is important that these things are out there, so that the person you're with, it allows them decide, okay, I know this about this person has told me this, I'm able to decide if this is what I want for myself too. You can't just take the power away from people to make certain decisions for themselves because you're dishonest about certain information, or even in the relationship you start lying about certain things, just very, very small things that would then make your partner, when they find out, they start questioning every other thing that you've told them. It is not good, and it is not healthy for your relationship to be dishonest. So ladies and gentlemen, let's keep dishonesty one side and always be honest with our partners, as the lack of that would definitely, most likely, ruin your relationship. Our next point will be mistrust. It is important to, you're deciding that you want to be with this person, right? You trust them. You believe that, okay, this person says this and that is it. If they have not given you any reason to doubt them, then you have no reason to. And I understand that most times, because of previous encounters that we've had with people, friends, even platonic friendship, or our spouses, all of these things, it's like maybe because of negative experiences we've had, it's scarred us in a way that we find it very difficult to trust people. You have to unlearn. If you're going to be with someone, anyone, you have to unlearn these things. You have to learn to let go and trust the people that you're with completely, because what it does is I can't, you're with someone and then they tell you this, you're always like on the edge, asking questions. Okay, let me see, let me check your phone. Okay, say you're with this, okay, call the person and let's ask him. All these kind of things, it ruins relationship. I mean, I know I would not be able to keep up, because like, what the hell. So mistrust ruins relationship. You have to trust your partner. When you say you trust your partner, you trust them 100% until they give you a reason not to. And even like there's always more to what meets the eye, but you have to trust your partner for you to have a peaceful, good relationship. Thank you. Next one is allowing family interference in your relationship. While I understand that, you know, it's important to have that family blessing, to have, you know, like for me, like I like to have family. I'm a family oriented person, but it is important that they know, you know, the boundaries. Like we set clear, communicate clear boundaries, and our family respect it. Like your relationship is between you and your partner, and it should be that way. Allowing everybody, every family member to bring their opinion, to come and say what they feel about this, and tell you, no, I think you should do this, I think this girl is like this, I think this guy is like this, I think this guy, his head like this, is like this, her mouth like this. She used to say, like, no, it's you and your partner, and that is all that matters, period. Thank you. All right, our next and final point is not caring about your partner's interests. Now, this point does not mean that you have to like everything that your partner likes. Most times when people do that, I think it's fake, because you want the person in your life. So you say, oh, I like coffee. Oh my God, I like coffee too. And then you're not able to keep up in the long run. Being interested, caring about your partner's interest is that, say for example, I love to hike. Hypothetically, I love to hike. My partner doesn't necessarily have to love to hike, but then whenever I go out hiking and come back, my partner should ask me, how did it go? Or even like, you know, buy me hiking boots, or, you know, get me like a coat, get me a jacket, you know, just be interested, and make them know that you care about the things that they love. So he doesn't necessarily have to go hiking with me or read books with me, but buy me books, you know, ask me about, you know, my favorite author, the character. When I cry that a character is dead in a book, you know, comfort me, tell me sorry, say to hell with the author, let's beat him up. You know, these things, like, just care about the things that interest your partner. It is very important. And when you don't do that, like your partner goes out for like a seminar or a meeting or a conference, and then they come back and you don't even ask questions because these things are not the kind of things that interest you, it is very, very weird, and it's bad. All right, so that'll be all for my 10 common mistakes that people make in relationships. If there's any point that I didn't put in this video and you feel it's important, please comment in the comment section below. And if you ended up enjoying this video, please subscribe, like, share, leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.